Welcome back, everybody. So here it is, Pink Floyd's The Wall movie review. Now, I know many of you have been waiting for this review for quite a while, and this morning I finally got to watch this movie. And yes, it's pretty fucking epic. I am not gonna lie to you. I loved it to bits. So this movie is an hour and 35 minutes long, but within that time I was like this. Whoa. Damn. What the fuck? And that's basically how I was throughout this whole of this movie. I never took my eyes off the screen once in any way, shape, or form. Now, this movie is pretty much an emotional roller coaster with very few happy, positive points in this movie. But it's just so well done. I just absolutely love this. There's so much I want to talk about with this movie to the point where I could actually make it a 25-minute review. But I'm going to try and condense it down into about 6 or 7 minutes if I can, which is going to be really, really tough. Other points of this movie I absolutely loved is the animation that's in this. It is probably one of the creepiest bits of animation that I've ever seen in my life. There's also another part of this where you get the flower animation, and you know, if you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I was just like, whoa, I see what you're doing. You know, it's just really, really good. And I was actually reading that some people say the animation there is a bit outdated. Is it bollocks? That animation in that movie, and this movie came out in 1982, is probably better than some of the animation I see on TV these days. And the fact that it was hand drawn by, apologise if I get the name wrong, Gerald Scaff. I think that's his name. It just makes it even better. There is some very dark, creepy bits in this animation, which makes this movie even better. The other part of this movie that I actually really, really do love is the lack of dialogue from the characters. So basically, it's being told by the pictures and the scenes that you're being shown, and the music. Now, now correct me if I'm wrong on this one as well, but I'm 99.9% sure that this is basically a take on Roger Waters' younger life growing up. So the best part of this is that this is what he's trying to show you when he gave you the Wall album. Now, I reacted to the Wall album and I absolutely loved it. I love it and appreciate this music even more through watching this movie, because you get to see the vision that was in his head, and that is what makes this movie very, very good. You also get to see what he had to go through growing up. So basically, this movie follows a character called Pink, and at the start of this movie, you see him in a hotel room, kind of like comatose, out of it, spaced out, and basically he's looking back at his younger life in this scene, and you get to see his past to the point where he's dealing with the fact that his father died at war, to the other fact of he has a very mollycoddling kind of very, very overprotective mother and how he deals with that, to going through his life to the point of school and becoming a star and dealing with that, with the overuse of drugs and alcohol. It's just absolutely fantastic. It tells a great, when I say it's an emotional story of somebody who's had to deal with a lot going through life and how he deals with it. Now, obviously, the movie's called The Wall, so these points in his life are the brick, and it basically creates a big wall around him, basically cuts himself off from society, becomes a very depressed, very, I almost want to say negative, but person who basically closed himself off from the world. And it's so well portrayed. You get the sense of this, you get to see it, you get to feel it, and you think at a certain point, it's like, I hope this movie actually finishes on a positive note, because at this moment, it doesn't really look that way. And it's just, you really get a sense of what he had to go through, to the point of, there's a cracking scene when he's in the park as a young kid, and he's on the merry-go-round. There's older gentleman there, and he basically wants to hold his hand. The gentleman pushes him away, and it's a great example of how much this kid needs or wants a father figure in his life. It's a very, very good scene. It does hold some quite emotional content, because you know and you can see what this little kid wants, and he can't get that, and that's basically just makes this. It's a very, very good scene. Now, if you've seen the movie, and obviously most of you have, you know exactly what I'm on about. moving through to other points of his life, as the fact when he was at school and he gets caught writing poems in the school by the headmaster, and basically the whole of the class mock him, and then immediately after you see all the kids smashing up the school. Now to me that's probably him, or the character Pink at this moment, in his head. Imagine that is basically what he wants to do. He wants to lash out, he wants to, get rid of that emotion and just really just give it all. Just, I think you know what I'm trying to say. He's just trying to vent out all that emotions, people being mocked, the fact that he's dealing with this, he's got no father and his mother and all that. And it's just really, really well done. Moving through to his even older years where he becomes a star, and the overuse of drugs and alcohol come in to this as well, where he's in that hotel and basically starts shaving himself to a point where he's sat in a chair, he's unconscious. The people come in, they inject him with some drugs, they take him because they still want him to perform on that night. And there's a great scene where he starts turning into the slimy mess and all that while going to the concert. Within that, he gets that hallucinating kind of dream of where this does tackle some very dark subject as well, of possibly even him leading a neo-Nazi group. There's all sorts of different emotions in there and dark content, to the point of the end scene, which, to be fair, is probably the most positive part of this whole movie. It's a still frame of a kid, and the build up to that is just displaying a little bit of hope there, which is really, really good. The other part of this movie where you think there is a bit of a positive note is where he gets married, which I've missed out in this. This is how much I've got to talk about. I want to talk about, which I actually missed. So the point of him getting married, which is still overshadowed by darkness, and it's just very well done, to the point where he's in America, and while he's in America, he finds out that his wife is actually sleeping with somebody else. He detached himself from his girlfriend or wife at the time. It's just, I could literally go on and on and on and on about this movie. It is just a very, very good watch. I very much enjoyed this. I appreciate the music even more than what I did beforehand. And if I was to give this, it would be a 10 out of 10. Strictly because it is an emotional roller coaster. You get a serious emotional attachment to this character, and you just want it to end on a happy note. And you never 100%. You just follow. You just want it all to work out. And there are certain points where you start to think it's actually going to work out, and it doesn't. It's just, well, I love it. Okay. I love it. I actually do generally love this movie a lot, to be fair. And I honestly think if they re-release this now, I still reckon that it'd still do very, very well. I think. I honestly, in my honest opinion, I think this could do very, very well now. And I would give this a 10 out of 10. I will be watching this again. Like I said, I appreciate the music more in this from watching this. It's fantastic. I love Pink Floyd. I love this movie. I love reacting to Pink Floyd. So on that note, please tell me what you think. Put it in the comments down below as normal. I hope you all have a great rest of the day, whatever you're doing. I'm going to actually have to stop for the YouTube videos because this is taking me about 2.5 hours to do this review. So have a great rest of the day, whatever you're doing. Please take care and goodbye.